A Super Bowl that had so many storylines and had two very distinct curses on both sides. On one hand, you had the Kansas City Chiefs, and there was a very famous bettor who had picked not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, but 16 straight Super Bowls wrong. And he picked the Kansas City Chiefs to win that Super Bowl. Then you had none other than Mr. Drizzy Dre himself, Drake, betting on the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, you heard it right. The lesbian himself bet on the Kansas City Chiefs to win. And then, from there, you're like, okay, well, you have the Drake curse. He predominantly curses his team. The Raptors have only won one championship while Drake has been rooting for them. Then on the other side, and the reason why I picked the Kansas City Chiefs to win, you have the curse of Kirk Cousins, and it just wasn't the right time to break that curse, where the San Francisco 49ers had lost to Kirk Cousins, and no team that has lost to Kirk Cousins has ever come back from that and won a Super Bowl. So you had that curse. Then you also had the curse where no coach who has gotten back to a Super Bowl and rematch with the coach who has beaten him has ever won the rematch, a la Bill Belichick versus Tom Coughlin.
Exactly. So a lot of things going into it. The game itself, on paper, I felt was very interesting. We saw the kind of like what we predicted. We said the 49ers are going to get out to a lead, and then the Chiefs are going to chisel back, maybe get some stops. The second half, they had 3 straight punts, that being the 49ers, and slowly but surely they creeped back into the game, went into overtime, the second game in Super Bowl history to go to overtime, and then, like magic, as we expected, marched down the field. Patrick Mahomes, 8 for 8, 69 yards, 1 touchdown on that final drive, and sealed the deal for the Chiefs to be the first team to win back-to-back Super Bowls since the 04 Patriots.
Yeah, and it wasn't not only kind of like how we predicted it, it went down exactly like how we predicted it. We said specifically the 49ers were going to go out to a 10-point lead, and then Patrick Mahomes would lead his team down on a drive to win the game, and I believe I picked the score to be 26-23, or either that, it was 24-21, but either way, we were only 1 point off from predicting the Super Bowl exactly, and then we had another Super Bowl go to overtime in a first half where a lot of people were like kind of falling asleep. They didn't like the defensive battle, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm here for 2 great head coaches matching up with each other, seeing how the adjustments unfold, and then who is going to win that matchup. And the reason why we both picked the Chiefs is more often than not, Steve Spagnuolo is going to win that matchup when it comes to those adjustments. The only one he hasn't been able to win it against is Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. And then the other side, Kyle Shanahan historically has not been able to make the adjustments, has not been able to hold a lead. You have 3 Super Bowls right now. Offensive coordinator, 28-3, lead gone. Up 10 points in the fourth quarter against the Kansas City Chiefs the first time they match up. Lead gone. Up 10 points the second time they face the Chiefs. Lead gone. And then you have a very uncharacteristic play from Christian McCaffrey where he fumbles and it kind of looked like the ball just got tapped out. Didn't even look like that aggressive of a hit. And then you had on the other side, 21 Savage himself, Isaiah Pacheco, getting the ball stripped down at the goal line. So you had equal turnovers, and it really came down to, unfortunately, those goddamn kickers. Jake Booty himself missing an extra point. And I ask you, if he made that extra point, do the 49ers sit here as Super Bowl championships? Or do you think the Kansas City Chiefs put the pedal to the metal and end up getting the touchdown and we don't go to overtime?
Honestly, I think the Chiefs probably still would have prevailed, but that's a narrative that could be spoken about. They had Jake Moody. This is the same guy for about an hour, had the record for longest field goal in Super Bowl history. And then Harrison Butker says, hold my legs, I'm going to get another field goal, and immediately breaks that record. And then you want to talk about the worst time to have an extra point missed? Jake Moody, who we say, what have we said about kickers all season? If they don't have a cool name and they don't have a good nickname, they suck. Well, Jake Moody's nickname is Jake Booty for a reason, because when it matters, that man is about as clutch as, I don't know, insert in
a doorknob.
I was going somewhere and then I lost it, but just assume that it was funny. Insert funny joke. But they had the opportunity in their hands. I felt like this is a game that the 49ers lost. You had a 10-point lead. You have Christian McCaffrey, who's Offensive Player of the Year. Arguably should have been MVP. We'll go over that later. You had all the talent there. You had the lead. All you needed to do was just push the metal to the gas. The Chiefs were struggling on offense. They were sputtering in the first half. And then as we predicted, can't bet against the Chiefs. You can't bet for Kyle Shanahan in the Super Bowl with a 10-point lead. And now, when history repeats itself, we say that's a coincidence. But when history continues to repeat itself, we have a pattern.
Yeah.
And now with Kyle Shanahan, this is the third Super Bowl, had a 10-point lead, and just doesn't come into it when it matters.